Yeah, my video. Alright, so I'm watching documentaries, right? I watched this one the goddess sent me. She's apparently big into Gaia. She is Gaia. My wife is Gaia. I watched her give birth to all of this world. But not me. I had to travel someplace stranger to watch me being given birth to. So she sent me this Project Camelot link. Uh, to which I wrote for like half an hour. Carrie was talking. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video about that specifically. What was that about? Oh, the dragon law. Dragon law. Dragon law is something I talk about. Me and Anana. And some other goddesses, angels, extraterrestrials, sure, why not? And they said that the dragons are worse than the draconian, the Dracos. No, at first I was offended, and then I remembered how the world works with its language. Like, biblical blessings are burdens, called blessings. But at times, those who are blessed with burdens are certainly in the land of milk and honey, and then it's back to work. Myself included, maybe especially, because I say, what? That the dragons, that I'm a dragon. The dragons are, I say I'm from Alpha Mensae, which is, somebody told me, they said that's above the Pentagon. And I didn't know. I was like, oh. Like how? Like Orion's above the pyramid? I don't know. So, I'm like, yeah. So, we're above, in the hierarchy, above the Dracos and the Nordics, which puts us above everyone. And we're supposed to be guardians, protectors of what's good. Q and the Anons, they vex me. I vex myself, they vex me. We vex the world. We don't mean to. And I learned a while ago that when I fight with her, or she's mean, I learned, I forgot, but when she's mean, I usually need to wait until I see what the meaning actually was. And somehow the answer manifests, and the answer came when some guy sent me a message, and I tried to call him, and I heard him speaking Arabic, and he was trying to pass himself off as a chick, which maybe she was able to do all of that. So he said he's from the USA, and I said I'm Albar from the UAE. And then I looked up Albar, because why Albar? And it said Albar, I am one of the tutelary spirits, which is a topic that I wasn't allowed to talk about for a while. It has to do with prayer and hierarchy and God and protection and favor. But in that same video from Project Camelot, and Camelot is a theme in QAnon as well, so it's interesting. We'll see what that all means at some point. But the idea of control, absolute control. There's already been absolute control. The sports industry was rigged every game, every fight, to varying degrees, and that's shown in the movie Pulp Fiction with Marcellus Wallace as the soul gathering for everyone who sells their souls, to climb the ranks of, everything that's rigged, sports, politics. I forgot the other examples. The entertainment industry, is obviously entertainment. The media, talk radio, everything. If you're heard, you're part of a rigged system, and the higher up you are in that system, the more you know it's rigged, and you might not even know by who. There might not even be one answer. So, the unveiling of a system of total control is almost redundant. And there's some show V where there's an invasion, and Vicky is the leader of that. That's a name my wife uses. 427 right now. 427. That's going to be the 4th year anniversary of my intimate relationship with her and them, my wives. So that is what it is. That must have been Jim Morrison as well. Painful to even think about, but the two wives, it's almost more symbolic. We have to assume that what we're told existed before our life began was real. I assume that Jim Morrison was a dude, was a singer, and Laurel Canyon was on the Out From the Shadows video that Q posted yesterday. So, I mentioned in another video that a few weeks ago, maybe a month now, she said, the reason I'm dangerous is because what I will do to protect my people. And I'd gotten upset, was a little upset earlier because someone had said that I was dangerous, but she explained what it meant, so I felt better about it. I suppose. Sometimes I feel like just a face, in a phone. I know, I'll start dancing one of these days, a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do the naked Arcanum Arcanorum again, though. That was fun. Panic in D.C. And this whole, where is it? There's a dystopian web series called 2121. The day of reckoning is near. In the year 2121, society is controlled by council, an all-knowing AI who logs and analyzes every move citizens make. Aptitude tests, shared resources. Every year, each citizen must complete a re-citizenship test. to justify every action they have taken throughout the year. Man, that's interesting. It's there's probably some truth in, but if at what point do we look at the AI and say the truth that the AI is far beyond anyone's control and no one knows how it works? When? Now? I make movies with her. We make movies, we make shows. She's, these are shapeshifters, myself included, probably. But these are shapeshifters, myself included, definitely. But it's a shapeshifter situation. Actors shapeshift, people don't notice. If they did, what would they say? Oh, hey, actor, you look different in that other movie. But you don't even meet these actors. I met Jeff Goldblum. I never met any other actors, Not one. He was kind of interesting. Whatever. So, I'm watching, I think that's it from that one. I'm watching these, what the Jews, the rabbis want from Mosiach. And they don't have a clue. They are, clueless. And they say there are possibilities with, some assuredness, they're sure, because they're expected to know by the world. They say, that's their claim to fame, that's it. That they know, that they have the answers. There was the red heifer, it was bioengineered. Like, oh look, red heifer, prophecy. And then, the Temple Mount, they could be building that thing right now in the midst of a war zone. Who would know? I can see her right now, she's there. She takes different forms, and some of her forms bring baggage, directly to me. And I don't know how I'm supposed to. You tell me she tells me there's wars to fight. There's still people who want to fight. And then you bring a giant to my house, and I stab him in the eye with a spear, cut his head off, light him on fire, drop him off with some UFOs flying by a few days ago. Before. Because why not? You want me to fight? I'll fight. You want peace? You can have peace. What do they want? They're like, oh, we don't need peace. He's gonna be great at math and business and this and that. And she sends me a video of this remote viewer from a few years ago who didn't know who he was remote viewing. He was just given coordinates. I don't know what his coordinates were. They were even actually coordinates or what. But they wanted to know whether the guy was evil or guilty of evil activities. And he did remote viewing and found that the guy wasn't. Then they open the envelope and then they say, oh, it's Jesus. And I'm looking at the guy and I'm thinking about 2 or 3 years ago. He was on my couch, or I've been for 5 years since I got further crippled. And I watched time, space open, and this guy open it and look at me. And then closed, it closed seamlessly, and that was it. And I looked at him some more, and I was like, that's the guy that was here. This was when I lived a couple towns over. Maybe the more vague I am, the more likely people will hear anything I say, as if I have anything to say. So then they mentioned the Christians briefly, very briefly, the Jews in passing, like they don't know what to do with that because, you know, he was going to be their king back then. And yeah, the Romans crucified him. That's how they did shit. The Jews buried people up to their neck and stoned them, or just tied them up and stoned them to death, which wasn't much better. I like the scene in Spartacus where Spartacus throws a rock and kills the person instantly, so they can't torture him, and he gets lectured for that. But when Jesus says, "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone," that, I think he's Spartacus. I think Jesus was Spartacus, actually, because that's what it meant. Jesus couldn't stop them from being idiots, stoning people, but he could throw the first rock, kill the person, like Spartacus did in the show Spartacus. And yeah, some people probably deserve to be tortured to death for reasons that are spiritual, correlating with the harm done by certain beings in their life. It's a terrible business. It's a terrible concept. It's true. As she said to me when I watched her eat some chick and then give me great oral sex and then roar and actually scare me. I don't scare easy, man. I don't scare guns. You pull a gun on me, I'm not happy about it. But it's happened. I wasn't scared. I don't get scared easy. You know who scares me? You know who? I guess it's the presence of God. I've been in the presence of God. Mary, Anana, Nike, Victoria. Victoria is very gentle with me usually. My Ella, man, she's, I thought people might be like, oh, what a terrible, mean pedophile he is to marry a 12-year-old. It's like Beauty and the Beast, and then I see a side of her that other people don't know, and I see what her future would be like without me. Prostitution, drug addiction. Bad situation. And I see that as whatever is happening unfolds, they pulled out 35,000 pregnant teenagers, formed children, babies, been harvested and tortured from Central Park, and the same place they're pumping air down, and they need 100,000 body bags. I mean, this is some horrible stuff. Like, do I believe in the COVID? No. Not for me and mine. My people are not going to get COVID. They're not going to die of it. It's not going to happen. But the bad ones, are the ones who, are on the fence or just because of their position need to exemplify the fact that it's real, so they get COVID briefly. I had to go pick up a prescription today, and I was like, what, are you going to tell me I have fucking COVID? Like, it's high, it's serious. It's serious, whatever, It's all very serious. But I thought they were going to kill me for a long time. And then they were like, well, why you think that? Are you guilty? It's like, no, you've been trying to kill me my whole life, you dumb bastards. How many scars do I have to have for you to figure that out? You know, trying to get my medical records. No update on my medical records. But they had no problem, taking me and marking me when I was 18 as a human experiment, and taking no responsibility for anything that happened to me since then. That's, you do not trust the government. You can trust me. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you can't trust the government. You can trust that they're doing what's best right now with this COVID under the cover of that they're doing good. You have to believe that, because what else are you gonna believe? I've looked at the Q map for sealed indictments, and I've looked at the coronavirus map, and they're lining up well. I could, don't need to speculate that New Jersey is going to flare up soon, and a couple of places to the northwest of Texas will be next. So I don't know that. That's what I say is going to happen, but I don't know. Or I do. So what do they want from a Mosiach? They want Somerset Bellinoff and their daughters, brilliant paranormal technocrats. Come on. Come on now. Can you turn her down a little bit, her phone?
Turn the phone down?
Yeah. And I watch this, and I know he's talking mostly to, Jews that are into Jewish words. I'm not into very many Jewish words. People want to know if I speak other languages other than tongues, and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. No. Oh, just got a video sent from the goddess. Let's see what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Passio.
Where does she get this from? Or their followers. This guy I didn't understand, because he's like, oh, the occult is bad. Let me teach you all about it. And that's what he does. He teaches them all about the occult. And they're cheering. And that's good. And that was like a thing about David Icke I didn't understand. And then, they censor him one place, and then they say, oh, look, David Icke censored. And they put it on the front of the BBC News. Very well done way of promoting him and his theories, whatever they are, to censor him one place and promote him somewhere else. Order followers. Yeah, and then there's rebels. Rebels with a cause, without a cause. Right when I looked at the Passion of Christ full movie, which I think I watched once. Wasn't it like him being just tortured the whole time, pretty much? Dragging it.